So it's always a big event when Naughty Dog releases a new game. They've proven time and time again that they have somewhat mastered the craft of storytelling in games, not the least of which with Uncharted 4 they've done. In a lot of ways, it's hard to look back at Uncharted now and imagine it without Uncharted 4. Randy, can you talk about the problems they addressed between the first three games and also just how they've addressed the character of Nathan Drake?
Yeah, you mentioned the first three Uncharted games. If you want to be really reductive about the previous games, you could say that, the stories in them are all the same, which is essentially, Nathan Drake goes out, tries to find the treasure, eventually loses it, but in the end realizes that the only treasure he needs is his relationships, particularly with Elena. And you could say the same thing about Uncharted 4, at its core, that is what it's about. But, I think this game, out of any of the Uncharted games, is the one that actually delivers a proper character arc for Nathan. The ending of this thing does move Nathan Drake forward as a character. It moves the relationship with him and Elena forward. And I think it also answers a lot of those questions about, Drake's character in the first three games, in which, he was a massive dick to Elena and to all of his friends. But, by the end of this thing, that second epilogue, I think, sort of like brought the whole series together, and it felt like a really natural endpoint for Nathan and for the series.
Yeah, you mentioned Drake's relationship with other characters, and I think that's a high point for Uncharted 4. You have new characters like Nadine Ross, Rafe Adler, and then, of course, Nathan Drake's brother Sam, who kind of felt like we thought he might be shoehorned, right? Like just bringing this brother we didn't know about, but it turns out Elena didn't even know about him. This is a secret Drake's kept since he was a kid.
This is Sam. Sam Drake. My brother. Hi.
You could think that Uncharted 4 going in, that it would just be overstuffed with characters. You have 3 games of previous characters that you're trying to shoehorn in on top of all of these new characters, but it's a testament to their storytelling that they make all of them feel essential, particularly Drake's brother, and grounding that, making that feel like not only is his brother a real character, that you believe that this is something that he's kind of kept secret, but also that it makes Drake feel more real, that it really strengthens his character arc, and it makes him more believable, both at some of the horrible things that he's done, but also makes his redemption in some ways. It makes that all more real.
Yeah, of course, there's always a cinematic flair to Naughty Dog's games, the way they choose to tell their stories and the narrative that shape them. Between Uncharted 1, 2, 3, and then, of course, The Last of Us, Uncharted 4 seems to be the culmination of that, between these sweeping vistas, between these cutscenes and out of these cutscenes. There's just such a great way they've approached showing the story to us.
I think they really are masters now, Naughty Dog, they really are masters now of, showing narrative through action. So they're not telling you the story just when there's a cutscene available. They're actually showing you that through what the character and you are doing. And, one of my favorite sections in this game was really early on when, Nathan was upstairs in his house, in his attic, and he was basically playing around with a lot of memorabilia that he'd collected over the past 3 games. And at that stage of the story, the narrative was telling you that Nathan wasn't going to go out and go on another adventure. But in playing through that level, you got an insight into his thinking, and that, he actually still misses that. He's looking at all this stuff, and he really wants to go out there for one last run.
Here they come. Take cover. We're surrounded. Right. Bullseye.
Yeah, and you see these little kind of like winks between characters, like even just like a way that Elena looks at Drake when he's going on this rave about this pirate legend Avery. You get the sense that she realized at some point that some things are part of his character and he can't change, but they can kind of work together to do that. And this is all told through these like subtle nods to the player.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But Naughty Dog is also really good at telling that story in the gameplay. You don't always have to kill everyone in this game. You do have to kill a few people, but a lot of the areas, whether you're in Madagascar or Scotland, are kind of these sandboxes. They let you approach whether you want to be kind of more stealthy or you want to just start shooting right away.
I think Uncharted has always had really solid mechanics. 2 and 3 were really good as far as combining the gunplay and the storytelling, but they would always get bogged down by making you have to murder lots and lots of people before you can progress on to the next point. In Last of Us, they fixed a lot of those problems where they combined this stealth element and the way that the buildings and the world is put together along with your ability to traverse it. And then I was so happy that they took those lessons over to Uncharted 4, that it's not just a world that you can explore, that it's not a huge open place that you're trying to find new things in, but it does feel real. And it does feel like you have a choice. Like, you do have to kill some people, but you're not the murderous, crazy person that you were in previous games. Like, it feels like when I have to kill somebody, that's necessary. But a lot of the time, I can find a way to get around this. If I want to look around a level, be stealthy, be quiet, I can get out of this situation without alerting literally everybody to where I am.
Yeah, in almost every aspect, Uncharted 4 just like hits a home run as far as storytelling. I think the gameplay just really facilitates this narrative that they're going for. The new characters, the relationships. It's always an event when a Naughty Dog game releases, but Uncharted 4, not just for the problems it corrected with the entire series, but just making it a superb game in its own right. And now looking back at the Uncharted franchise, I can't imagine it without Uncharted 4. And that is why it is almost at the top of our list at the number 2 spot for GameSpot's 2016 Best Of.
Hey. Cheers. Yeah, cheers.